guys, and welcome back to my channel. So for this week, I actually want to do a little bit of a different thing. So I've been doing these very polished tutorials where there is not much entertainment but a lot of information so that you are able to actually make the garments that I'm showing. And I want to, kind of go back to my roots where I am showing more of the process behind finishing a pattern, and so that I don't lose out on my actual business, which is the patterns. I am going to divide every project into 2 different videos, hopefully, if you guys like it. So we're gonna have one behind the scenes, which you're watching currently, and then a tutorial for everybody who is interested in making their own, for this video, sets of pants. So as I just said, I am working on pants, shorts to be exact, and I have this image in my head with a wavy hemline and waistband. So this is my first pattern that I made. Honestly, I haven't measured too much. I just went off of a pattern I already had and guesstimated. This is gonna bite me in the butt very, very much in a bit, and it's gonna be super obvious. So maybe measuring isn't so bad after all. Anyways, one thing that is really, really cute, whenever I work on the computer, which is set up in my bedroom, all of my cats just gather around and also sit with me, which is super cute. So in between my computer works, I always have cat breaks, and they're just so cute. Look at them. I wanted you to have the cat break as well. Since it's a bit more casual in this video, I'm going to show you a bit of my working space, and oh boy is it messy. I have this huge rack of fabrics, some are stacked up on the floor even, but the fabric that I actually want to use is right down here. It's a curtain. It looks like mercerized cotton, which has this pretty satin sheen on one side, but I think it's partly synthetic, maybe 70% polyester, because it doesn't wrinkle at all, and it's also a bit thicker than the mercerized cotton I know. So it's actually this Hillebor curtain that I got from IKEA at some point, and I wanted to put it in my bedroom, which I never did, so now it's fabric that I can use for whatever project that I want. So I chose this for my shorts because I figured not wrinkling up is pretty nice for shorts where you always sit on them. So I printed out my pattern on my A1 paper and cut everything out. For the wavy parts of the pattern, so the hem and the waistband, I tried out both scissors and my rotary cutter, and I found that I actually like the rotary cutter way more just because it's so much faster. If you have more narrow curves, then maybe you want to use your scissors, but I also found that using your rotary blade is good for both. Since I had an abundance of fabric for this project, I went ahead and used the same curtain for my mock-up. This is actually the exact thing you should do when doing mock-ups, as you get the exact result you'd get when sewing your actual piece. Obviously, this is not possible most of the time, and I also more often than not don't do as I say, but I guess that one time I at least did. I always make sure in whatever pattern I make to mark my notches by just clipping into the seam allowance. And then I also like to add the darts with a water-soluble marker onto the wrong side of the fabric. So that's super important. Also, really important is to also iron on interfacing to all of the pattern pieces that need it in your mock-up, super important. I basically prepare all of my pieces as I'd prepare them for my actual fashion piece. I know this can be very time consuming, but believe me, it's worth the time. It's not the same result if you don't actually prepare. So I don't have one of these fancy pin tuck presser foots. I might get one, but I don't have one at the moment. So I have to do my pin tucks basically from scratch. And I do that by ironing in the fold line where the pin tuck is going to sit, and then very closely to that fold line, stitch down, top stitch down. And super professionally, I'm showing you a dart and not a pin tuck because I actually didn't film it, but you get the idea. One thing that I always recommend you do is, not only because it is basically essential for your fitting, but it also trains your sewing skills at the same time, is to prep and sew the fly opening in the front, just because it's so much easier and you want to have a fitting that is as closely to your actual piece as possible. While I was prepping the fly and sewing the fly, I actually thought it would be really nice to have an embroidery somewhere on my design, so I figured I'd try out some designs on my embroidery machine and just let it do its thing in the background, which is, you know, super convenient for if you don't have to talk and record all of the time, because you can have loud machines running in the background, which is really nice. You know, multitasking. Time management, love that. So once that was done, I only had to attach the hem pieces and the waistband. I actually decided to not double line the hem pieces because I was just not sure if anything would fit or if the length would be right and so on and so forth. So I figured I'd just attach the hemline with like a very big basting kind of stitch to my pants. And if they fit, if everything goes right, which usually for the first fitting never goes right, like there are always some sort of issues, you always have to redo it most of the time. I don't want to say always because I've had other times as well, but you get what I'm saying. Like, I did not want to put that much effort into something that probably will not be the final result, so I decided to only do one layer, just baste it onto the hemline, but then I actually did the waistband as I was supposed to, you know, double lined it and so on and so forth. And you can also see the embroidery that I tried out. I just pasted it onto my pants as I thought I might put it at that spot with my final garment. So remember when I said that I did not measure anything? Well, this is what you get. It would not even close. Because I used the pattern of pants that were very, very A-line, I knew that I had to take in the side seams, but apparently I took them in way too far, so I could not close the pants. My solution for that was basically to open up the side seams and to add more fabric to the side seams in order for me to close my pants, and then I can add some fabric pieces to the side seams to actually be able to fit, like to add more into my circumference at the hip area, basically. Another thing that I did was to bring up the hemline like quite a bit, I think like 10 centimeters. I don't know what I did in my pattern making, but I overestimated the length of my pants drastically. So I basically undid everything that I lengthened there. I just basically made them booty shorts with a little bit of a wavy hemline, which looked really, really cool. So this is the fitting now with my piece of fabric attached to the sides. Obviously, I have to, you know, mirror everything to the other side, but I'm gonna take these pants off now, mark everything, and then transfer everything to my paper pattern. I, as you just saw, adjusted the pattern with all of the fitting adjustments that I did yesterday on my mock-up, and I'm about to print out the new paper pattern, redo the fitting, and see if everything worked out. Hopefully I'm not gonna have to do any like big adjustments anymore, as that was the mock-up from yesterday. And with maybe teeny tiny bit of adjustments, probably a few, I'm gonna redo the pattern after that, or adjust the pattern. I'm not gonna redo it obviously, but I'm gonna adjust the pattern a third time if I have to, then grade it, and that will be the paper pattern that will be available to you guys once the tutorial is up next week. So that is my process. Hopefully it's gonna end up okay or nice. I'm gonna do some embroidery for those pants as well, so that's gonna be fun. And yeah, let's get going. Okay, so I am done now with my second fitting. I think it looks really, really nice. One thing that I struggled with is actually the fabric. It's super slippery, and I think these pants would work better if there is a little bit of elasticity in the fabric. So I think I'm gonna check my fabric stash if there is any fabric with a teeny tiny bit of elasticity. I know that I have some Duchess satin in a gold color that is very similar to this, plus a little bit of elasticity, so maybe I can work with that. But apart from that, I think the pattern is really, really good, fits very, very nicely. Two changes that I might want to do. First, maybe bring down the waistband a teeny tiny bit. At the moment it sits right at my waist, which is like right here, teeny tiny bit higher than my waist. And this up here obviously is like a lot higher, so you can wear this obviously perfectly fine with like some sort of blouse. I think that'll look really, really cute, like a very puffy white blouse. I think then the waistline would look really, really nice. But with obviously with something that I'm wearing at the moment, it just looks a bit awkward because it comes up so high, but you know, that whatever. And then the second thing is this down here. I might want to bring these a teeny tiny bit in, just because I feel like it looks a tiny bit awkward that it goes as far down as it does at the moment. I like the placement that there's a hill of the wave basically at that spot and not at this spot. I think it's very nice, but I think it's a teeny tiny bit too long. I was contemplating whether I want to add some pockets, but if you add pockets, the fit is gonna change because it creates space here and it opens up and it can be awkward. But if I'm working with some sort of elastic, more elastic fabrics, it might work. So I think I'm gonna add the patterns, and you can, you know, do that if you want to or skip it if you don't want to. And speaking about the fabric, I had a lot of troubles with this fabric because it was so slippery. And I also think that the sewing did not work out as perfectly as I wished it would have. So I think it might be better to work with a fabric that has at least some elasticity in it. I have like a Duchess satin in this gold color, which I think would also look really, really nice for these pants. And they are a teeny tiny bit stretchy, so I might work with them. And then I think everything just looks a tiny bit better. And it's a bit more, you know, comfortable. I mean, these are comfortable. You can like do anything that I want, but still, pants always are more comfortable if you have a tiny bit of elasticity in them. But they work fine without. So anyways, always do your mock-up and then you should be fine knowing which fabric you want to use. So yeah. I have a very crazy idea. So I went just through my fabric stash and I found this. It's not knit, it's, how do you call that in English? I'll put it on screen if I find the name of it. But it's basically, it looks like knit, but it's not as stretchy. I wonder if I could make these pants out of this. I think that'll look really cool. and special, you know. I could stabilize the waistband enough so that it is not stretchy anymore, but then I can use the stretchiness of that for, you know, the booty part, and then I can stabilize it for the hem part again. That would be really cool and different. The safe route would be this, this fabric right here, which is the Duchess satin that I was talking about. This has a teeny tiny bit of stretch. I don't know if you can see it, but a teeny tiny bit of stretch. I actually used this for a project pre-YouTube. I made like a princess dress from that, a corset and a very like big skirt. Insert picture here. And this is still left, so this might be an option too, but I really like the color of the red better because I know that I'm not gonna wear this as much. So this would also be an option. This is also a knit, but it's not super stretchy either. I'm not sure if I should do, you know, the more experimental route and not know what comes out, or if I should do the safe route. But then on the other hand, if it doesn't work, since I'm splitting this project into 2 weeks anyways, I might have enough time to do multiple. Never said that before, ever. But I could experiment, but then I would use this knit, which is not knit, but you know what I'm saying. So this is also an option. I got this for my Dindle project last year, never ended up doing the bodice out of this. This is a beautifully printed canvas, no stretch at all, so I am not sure at all. Let's do a voting. I have 4 fabrics, so we can use this fabric. As you saw, the mock-up is made out of it. It works perfectly fine, it looks really cute, but is very difficult to sew, and I think there might be a better result with an easier fabric. Then there's this. This is an easy fabric, so super easy to sew. The result will look the same as this is also with 0% elasticity. Then we have this. This is safe route with a little bit of elasticity, I think just like 1% or whatever. It's gold, so this would look, this is an eye catcher, I would say, so you can see here a teeny tiny bit of elasticity. And then we have the experimental route with this knit not knit in this very nice burgundy color, which I think would be fun to experiment with. So we'll have these 4 options, and you can comment down below which of these 4 is your favorite. If you comment fast enough, I can consider your vote, because I'm gonna start working on the project next Monday. So I'm super excited to see your comments on the fabric choice, and yeah. So with that, I think we're gonna end today's video. You saw the mock-up process. I hope you enjoyed. It was very fun to, you know, film everything and to also do the video in between. You know, I've always switched between filming and sewing and then editing, which is really fun. It's what I used to do back in the days. So I had a lot of fun doing this project, or like starting with this project. Obviously, we're gonna finish it next week. As I said, leave me a comment down below which fabric you like best and which fabric you want me to make these pants out of. So super excited to see your comments. Also leave me a comment down below how you like this new concept, I guess, for my projects, doing 2 videos per project. Also give this a thumbs up so I can see, share, comment. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel, I upload every Sunday, so keep an eye out for that. And if there is enough, you know, positive feedback, I'm gonna continue with this concept, I guess, in the future. So thank you so much for that. As always, the most direct way to support me and keep videos just like this one coming is to head over to my Etsy store. The direct link to that is down in the description below. Obviously, once the pattern is up, you'll find the direct link to this pattern as well in the description down below. Another thing that I changed, or that I updated, you guys ask me so much about any links to the tools that I'm using. I put affiliate links down in the description below for you guys. Obviously nothing where you pay anything more or whatever, I just get a little bit of a share for redirecting you to the stores, I guess. So check that out if you're interested. I hope I have everything in the description. If not, you can obviously always comment down below which tools I missed and you'd like me to link as well. So thank you so much for that. Also check out my Instagram. You can find, short format content there, as well as, other social media. Links to that is in the description below as well. A special thank you to my channel members. You can get exclusive benefits through the link in the description below. So thank you so much for watching, and I'm gonna see you next Sunday for the main episode. Bye guys!